opponent's view, and today we are with Crystal Palace ahead of the game on Saturday. How are we, mate?
Yeah, we're good. How are you?
I'm good, yeah. We've both had pretty good start to the season, so I think we can both be rather happy with how we've started. Palace had the penalty shootout against Bournemouth, which, to be fair, I don't think many of the fans were that bothered about because you had City, was it, in the next round?
Yeah, we had to. So it was a good result at the end that we lost. Sounds weird, but yeah.
Yeah, I seen Wayne Hennessy's penalty. It travelled down all the way to here. Or
Yeah,
travelled.
yeah. Wayne Hennessy. I mean that guy's a character. He can't kick a ball during the game to the proper player, and then of course with a penalty, he missed the target as well. Yeah, target is not for him.
No. You've had two great results so far, Southampton and Manchester United. So what's the Palace thoughts on those two results?
I mean, Southampton game, we didn't predict a win. And then we come here against United and surely we're going to lose this game as well. But we managed to go and get a win there as well. Overall, it's been two surprising results for us. Results that we didn't really expect at Palace. I mean, the football that we played has been absolutely brilliant so far in them two games. Roy Hodgson has changed his style. Wilfried Zaha is flourishing in the new system. And the goal that we did concede against United, we gifted it to them. It's not like United would hammering us and we conceded because we broke. No, we gifted a goal to United. So overall in them two games, I've been very, very impressed with most forwardly our attacking play rather than defensive play because normally we're good defensive side, but both sides of the pitch we've been very good.
Yeah, I won't be afraid to hold my hands up and admit in my pre-season predictions I put Palace to finish 18th, which looking back was very, very naive, and that was based on. This was before you signed Eze as well, to be fair, but it was based on your form after lockdown there until last season, where you didn't look at all threatening. Was there a bit of worry from the Palace side of things going into the season?
Yeah, I mean, me included, I didn't want Roy Hodgson at the club going into this season, and I'm not going to change my perspective based on two games, but the way that we ended last season and the way that he was so stubborn with his tactics that we lost 7 games in a row, he basically said that we're giving up now on public TV. And I wasn't a massive fan of that. I was like, how can you have a manager that comes out publicly and says that we're giving up and we lost 7 games? It's sent a bad message, and he didn't change it about. But this season, what I wanted, what all Palace fans wanted, was him to change it about when it's not working, and he has changed it about. Wilfried Zaha is now in a position where he can attack more than defend, whereas last season, he was asked so much to go and defend. So it has these two games have kind of changed my perspective slowly. I mean, if he is going to keep changing about Roy Hodgson when it's not working, then I'll be happy with him at the club because I feel like he can keep us up. But this is a big if. It's only 2 games. You don't want to get too carried away because you can go, there's still 36 games to get played at in the Premier League. So hopefully he keeps it up. And if he does, then I feel like not only me, most Palace fans will be happy with the outcome of the season because Roy Hodgson is a good defensive manager. But going forward, that's where we struggled last season. 31 goals in 38 games in the Premier League, and we still managed to stay up. But now that we're scoring goals and now that he changed it about, it seems like things are going to end up well this season if we continue playing like this.
Yeah, you mentioned there the goal scoring. What you've done against Manchester United, I didn't watch the Southampton game, I watched the Man United one. You just hit them on the counter, so I'm hoping that Everton play with a bit sensible and don't let you have such freedom, which, to be honest, as the home side, I don't think we will give you. But we've played Spurs, which was a great result, and West Brom. But this game, from our side of things, is the biggest one to see if we have really changed from last season. And last season, we started the season at Palace and was a drab 0-0. Both teams had the chances. But yeah, so I think this will be our hardest of the 3 so far. What Palace fans think of Everton in general so far this season?
I mean, I watched the West Brom game. I watched the West Brom game, I think it's before the Palace game. And I feel like you guys have got some quality players in your hand. And I'm not only saying that because you're here speaking to me as Everton versus Palace, but I genuinely do think that. But the problem with Everton has been in the past where you've had some other quality players as well. But
your expectations, of course, has changed. And I guess with Everton fans, you couldn't really meet it with the players that you got. But I feel like this season is a bit different. I feel like with the players you got, with Rodriguez, you saw it on a weekend where the guy doesn't have to run. All he does is ping a pass to Richarlison, and then the rest is history because he gives it to Calvert-Lewin and you score goals. And you got Allen in midfield. I feel like genuinely Everton this season can do something. You got a winner as a manager. You got Rodriguez, who has won in the past. You got Allen, top quality player. You got Calvert-Lewin, who's already transforming under Ancelotti. I think it'll be bad for you guys not to have expectation below top 6. I feel like top 6 should be your target, or at least top 7 this season with the squad that you got. Anything below that would be bad for Everton, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. There was a bit of going into the season, we thought, will these players bomb? But the lads, Allen and Rodriguez, the Cordays had this time in English football, so that wasn't much of an issue. They came in and hit the ground running straight away. The fans feel like the squad is 2-man short now, a centre-back and a winger. So I'm going to mention your man, who a lot of our fans want, Wilfried Zaha. What a player he is. I don't think he'll come here, but how much I'd love him in our side, how much he'd complete this side would be great. As a Palace fan, you've probably been asked, you must just love him.
Yeah, 100%. I love Wilf. But with the Wilfried Zaha situation, we saw it. He's been scoring goals now. And that's the question. Wilfried Zaha wants to move away from Palace. There's no denying that. We've come out publicly and we've said it, that Wilfried Zaha wants to move. He's changed agents. He's trying to get him moved. But the problem was last season, he didn't get enough goals and assists. I'll be honest. Even as a Palace fan, yes, he did have some good games, but overall his season was poor and is nowhere near worth the £50 million. But if he continues playing like he has this season under the new system that Hodgson has put him in, where he's more attacking and he's getting goals, then you will see guys go after him. And I wouldn't really mind it because I feel like Wilfried Zaha worth around £50 million right now for Palace. Of course, that's controversial because when you look at it from the outside, you're like, how's he worth £50 million? But he is worth that much because if we get rid of him and don't get a proper replacement, it's just a matter of relegation, really. So it will be a massive loss. So yeah, Wilfried Zaha is absolutely fantastic. We love him at Palace, but it's just that thing: is he going to leave? Is he going to stay? We're not really too sure yet. I don't think anyone will come this window, but maybe in the January window, if he continues playing like this, then yeah, we could see Wilfried Zaha go.
Yeah, it's no secret of Everton's admiration for him, especially Marcel Brands. But I think we just get priced out the deal. But our fans, what a last season we had them flirting with Moise Keane on Instagram as Moise Keane was signing. We thought, here we go, but it never quite materialised. And like you say, last season, were there 4 goals he got last season?
I think it was 3 or 4, yeah.
And it's that maybe that was the system holding him back, but for Wilfried Zaha, that's not good enough. But he's hit the ground running this season, and you must be excited by the attacking options you have now. Jordan Ayew, I think, is a very good player, though. He should have had 2 or 3 at Old Trafford. Then you've got the likes of Townsend, Eze, the Mitchell, the fullback's a great little attacking option. And then there's another former Everton guy in midfield who I'm going to touch on, James McCarthy. Seems to have had a bit of slack last season, but brilliant at Old Trafford last week.
Yeah, I mean, where do I start? So the new signings, we talked about Eze, there's Michu Batshuayi, but these players are not starting for Palace yet. So this is the old Palace squad that's coming to this season after 8 games without a win, and it shows how much tactics do matter in this football that we watch. Roy Hodgson just transformed it. He just transformed it so simply. It's not like Roy Hodgson turned to Carlo Ancelotti or Pep Guardiola and now we're playing amazing football. It's just simple 4-4-2. The fullbacks will go and support. The 2 central midfielders will go and help with defensive duties. So we have more players going forward with the fullbacks, and we have Wilfried Zaha attacking rather than defending. So that's why I feel like this season is a bit different because we still haven't seen the likes of Michu Batshuayi. He started against Bournemouth, I guess, but Eze, who's highly rated, Palace are just focusing on all their marketing on Eze, one for the future. Once they come into the side, then we'll know what exactly this Palace team can do. But if this Palace team's already scoring goals like this and are dangerous on the counter-attack, then it's going to be a question of what happens then. I mean, right now it's working so perfectly fine. And I don't see Eze starting anytime soon or against Everton, for example, because Schlupp was amazing. And Michu Batshuayi, that's the only player that could potentially start. But you mentioned James McCarthy as well. I'll be honest, I was happy that he was linked with a move to Celtic. But right now, in the 2 games that he's played, he's probably been one of our best guys. I don't know what's gone wrong with him or what's gone good for him, but he changed his ways as well. McCarthy in midfield has been so solid. It's not the most most interesting midfield, but you got James McCarthy and James McCarthy there, but both of them have been holding it down. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, McCarthy for us was fantastic, and then Martinez decided to play him with half a hamstring, and he was never the same again.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was genuinely brilliant. But another thing, I was looking at the results since. So Everton are notoriously known amongst the fact. I don't know if the rest of the league, we're not great away, but we're yet to lose at Selhurst, touch wood, since she came back up. But so hopefully that doesn't end this weekend. But hopefully that stays the same, because right now I'd take a point personally. I'd obviously like to win the game, but a point to Palace is a point to Palace. But is there the answer's probably an obvious one, but is there raised expectations now ahead of the Everton game from the Palace fans, or are you still a bit withdrawn in excitement?
I feel like even before the United game, Palace fans, including me, were saying that the Everton game is going to be more difficult. We've seen how you guys have started the season. We've seen the squad that you got, the manager that you've got, and we're not stupid. We realise that Everton is a good team. Yeah, they are a very good team. So it would be foolish for any Palace fan to go into this game and say that if we don't win, it's a bad result, because yes, there's only 2 games and we're both up the league. But when you look at it as a whole, when you look at the season as a whole, Everton is going to be a dangerous team. So ideally, I think most Palace fans would be happy with a point against Everton, even though it'll be at our ground. But yeah, I feel like going into this game, if we just don't lose, if we keep this little streak that we got going, I mean, we won 2 games in a row, but even if we get a draw and still don't lose, I think that'll be a great result for Palace. And Palace fans would be happy with that, because we don't have to be football experts to see that Everton are on a roll and they've got some great players.
Right, and honestly, like I say, I'd want us to win the game, but if we could get a point and play well, then I'd take that. And then we roll on to your rivals Brighton the week after, so hopefully we can get 4 to 6 points from them too. So other than Wilfried Zaha, who's the man for Everton to watch this weekend?
Other than Wilfried Zaha, so I think based on last game against United, you look at the left-hand side, I think I wouldn't particularly focus on one guy, maybe Mitchell and Jeffrey Schlupp, because what we've been doing is that we've been focusing on the left and sending 3 guys down there rather than just Wilfried Zaha on his own. So Jeffrey Schlupp, he's been interchanging with Wilf. Mitchell's doing them passes and doing the overlaps as well. So I'll just focus on the left-hand side really, because we've been in both of these games against Southampton. We were a major threat in that side. Against United, once again, threat going forward down the left-hand side. So if you just focus on the left-hand side, if you can try to contain us there, then you will have a massive, massive advantage to go and win the game, because that's where our main attacking threat has come from so far.
Right, yeah, and to wrap it up, we'll have a score prediction for the game and a season prediction for both Palace and Everton.
Score prediction, I'm going to keep it the same with the Southampton and the United game, because it's been working. So I'm going to go 1-1 I'm going to go for another draw. I'm going to go 1-0 because it's been working.
Change that.
Nah, it's been working. I'm not going to change it. I'm going to go 1-0. I'll be happy with a point. I know it's Everton at home and it's going to be a difficult challenge. But for the season prediction for Palace, it's going to sound probably crazy at the end of the season, but my expectation for this season was just to stay up, and I'm going to keep that because I want to see a bit more of us in the next couple of games. So I'm going to just say 17th or 16th for Palace, because I don't know what to expect throughout the whole season when things go wrong under Hodgson. And for Everton, as I said, minimum top 7. If you finish below top 7, then I feel like that'll be a bad season, because you got the players, you got the manager, and you can go and do it. You really can.
Yeah, I think you'll finish a lot higher than 16th, 17th for what it's worth.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for your time, and hopefully you're not in such good spirits come 5:30 Saturday afternoon.
Let's see what happens. Thank you.
Cheers.